Welcome to NASCAR Live Chat with Hamm. If you don't know me, I'm a 25-year NASCAR engine builder, retired in 2019, owner of Hammscapes Landscaping Equipment, Repair, Service, and also radio personality here at WAME Radio, Real Country 92.9. And I was also a 7-year jackman, which I retired back in the 90s from as a jackman. Actually, 2001 was my last year as a jackman, but I jacked through the 90s for Kyle Petty and Sterling Marlin, Joe Nemechek, Robbie Gordon, different people like that. You remember those? Brett?
Yes.
So we got with me today, I got Brett Troutman, who is a huge NASCAR fan, as well as wrestling and golf and all this kind of stuff, right, Brett?
Right.
You, who's your favorite driver in NASCAR?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
And
Very
Kurt
cool.
Busch and William Byron Bubba Wallace.
Oh, okay. That's a combination of drivers. Some Ford, some Chevrolet.
Some Ford, some Chevrolet.
Yeah. Well, very cool. I'm glad to have you with me today.
Thank you, David.
And I'm sure everybody that's going to be watching tonight on this premiere at 7:30 will feel the same. Be glad to have you join us, because Brett's full of information. He's a huge fan of NASCAR, and he's got a lot of information. I'm gonna ask him some questions about who he's met and who his favorite. Maybe I'll even talk about wrestling a little bit, things like that. So, but if you would hit that bell notification, hit subscribe, and you'll be notified whenever I go live anytime, which is during NASCAR season. It's every Monday night at 7:30, and also you can see my podcast at Hamm the Engine Man. Right on, just do a Google search, Hamm the Engine Man. My podcast will pop up, and I'll put this one on as well with Brett on here too. So we'll be on a podcast.
Right.
Very cool, right? So be sure to check out my NASCAR Country page on Facebook and give us a like over there, and also DHammiam on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to find Brett, where can we find you? On Facebook?
Facebook and YouTube podcast.
There you go. That's right. Alright, so we're going to go over first the Busch Clash results from the race, which was yesterday. What was that date yesterday?
It was the 9th.
The 9th of February. 2020.
2020.
Alright, so first we had
Eric Jones, the winner. That Jones boy.
Brett's probably got this memorized, but so we had Austin Dillon second, Clint Boyer third, Kyle Larson fourth, Ryan Newman was fifth, Denny Hamlin was sixth, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Eric Almirola.
Top 10.
The top 10. And I guess I'll go ahead and blow through because there's only 18. Jimmie Johnson, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Busch. Which I'm really surprised that the last two finishers were actually who had the best chance of winning the race.
Exactly.
I thought, there was a little bumping and grinding, and I don't know if you could say, do you think, who caused the biggest wreck that took out?
Well, my opinion, and I may quote my father, we think Kyle Busch caused Keselowski to wreck Logano.
Yeah.
And Mr. Keselowski's going to get Kyle Busch back at Daytona Sunday.
That's right. There you go. And that makes a lot of my Ford fans watching right now, our Ford fans, pretty happy for you to say that.
Yes, because Brad Keselowski's the new Rusty Waltz of NASCAR.
Yeah, that's right. So we had 5 Fords in the top. This is in the top 10. We had 5 Fords, 2 Toyotas, and 3 Chevys.
Yes. Rounding
out the top 10. So, and of course that was a non-points event. So it was just basically they just wanted to get out there and try to win the race.
Yes.
And actually some of the drivers, I was surprised they didn't seem, whenever Chase Elliott wrecked.
And Hamlin wrecked.
Oh my gosh, pretty much the whole field. I think there was only like 5 cars running.
5 cars were still in it.
Actually, there was 5 on the lead lap, and then Denny Hamlin, I guess, was a lap down.
Lap down, calls a tire.
And then he pushed Eric.
That Jones boy.
Yep, that Jones boy. He pushed him to the win at the very end.
With a damaged car.
Yes, with his car. Yeah, how about that? His front end was tore off.
Yeah, that front end was torn up.
And he still won the race. That was a big surprise at a restrictor plate track.
How about that Jones boy?
Yes. So if you don't know where I'm at WAME Radio. This is the original station, the studio that was here back when Billy Buck, who's the owner of the station, he owns this place. He owns this, the tower, whatever. He started working here in 1975.
1975.
Which was a few years ago. I mean, I was 4 years old at the time, so it tells you how old I am. So Eric Jones won the Clash, leading on the lap that counted. Of course.
Only one lap.
That's right, the final one. So he finished with a crunched up hood due to being caught up in wrecks during the 25 of the 88 lap exhibition race, which is a 9 points event, as I said. So the qualifying result, well, I guess we can talk a little bit more about the Clash. So was you excited? Do you think it was a good race?
I think it was exciting for the fans because they were excited about the throwback.
Yeah, the throwback was really cool.
The 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah, 70s, 80s, 90s.
And then Clint Boyer made a bet for Jeff Gordon wearing his Chiefs jersey.
Oh, that's right, because we know
who won the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yeah. That's cool. Very cool. And you know, the throwback era, I went to the racetrack in the 90s, and I think that was one of the best eras in NASCAR. The 80s also, the mid to late 80s, I think was a great time. But you know, we're trying to get it back to where it once was for the whole for the NASCAR fans. You know, because over the past several years, there's been a little bit of things. All right, so we got some new drivers. We got some drivers that are retired, like Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy Johnson's going to be going out.
Yeah, he'll go back on top, win a race again, and Brandon Gaughan will be retiring. He'll be doing his Truck Series commentary.
Yeah, Brandon Gaughan. So who do you think will take Jimmy Johnson's place? I mean, I know that's a tough question.
That's going to be a tough question for a lot of fans.
Yeah.
We're thinking at Harrison Burton being a replacement for Jimmy Johnson.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good choice. Mike, write that down. Y'all keep track of that so we can say something to Brett whenever it happens.
Exactly.
Or, you know, I'd say Brett knows what he's talking about. So, what do you think about the? All right. How do you think Penske will do with the crew changes? You know how they swapped all the crews around and stuff.
I think Penske will do well. Paul Wolf's with Logano, and Jeremy Bolins is with Brad Keselowski, and the number 12 team will do good with their new crew chief. Will do pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it was kind of like a fresh start for these teams to get something new. You know, instead of going back to the season and being like, well, here we go again. I know personally some of the guys that are like tuners and different things, and they've swapped to other cars, and I've seen their pictures on Instagram and stuff, or Twitter, and they seem like they're really excited to be kind of like a new fresh start.
New fresh start of the season.
Yeah, and then I think the crew chief combinations will be really good. I know that Roger Penske is an extremely smart man, so he's not going to do anything that's going to be detrimental to his team. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. So how about this qualifying? I'm sure you're pretty happy with the qualifying for the Daytona 500.
Yes, Stenhouse with a new track record, with a new Hendrick engine on the hood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how about that? He basically gets booted out of the Roush Fenway, and then he goes and gets the pole for the Daytona 500
with number 47.
Yes,
new track record.
Mm-hmm.
And Bowman's now second.
Yeah, how cool is that? All right, so he's on the pole, and it looks like we have the dual races coming up this
Thursday,
which is the 13th.
The 13th. So
yes.
The old saying, and I may quote DW: either you race your way in, or you go home disappointed.
That's right. Yeah, because there's going to be
43 coming back this year.
43 car field.
You gotta race your way in, or you go home disappointed for the fans.
That's it. I think you said we had 14 Fords, 15 Chevys, and 16 Toyotas.
Yes, that's correct.
So in the qualifying results, so we had, well, starting in the duels, we have the two duels, of course, and I'm just going to roll down the top 10 of the first duel and the second duel. First duel is Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, Clint Boyer, Ryan Newman, Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, and Martin Truex. And that first duel is 5 Fords, 3 Toyotas, and 2 Chevys.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those Chevys being, well, actually, starting first spot would be Chase Elliott, but
Bill Elliott's son, of course.
And I guess, yes, and I guess
he runs well at Daytona.
That's right. He does, don't he?
Yeah.
Kind of runs in the family, I guess.
Runs in an Elliott household.
That's right. So they have the duel number 2, the starting lineup was Alex Bowman, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, William Byron, Eric Jones.
That Jones boy.
You like that? Do you like that Jones boy?
Like that Jones boy. Watch out that Jones boy at the
He
duels.
seems to be doing pretty good, don't he? Does your dad like him?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Kevin Harvick, Cole Custer, Matt DiBenedetto, Tyler Reddick, and Kyle Larson rounding out the top 10 in the second duel. And that's 5 Chevys, 2 Toyotas, and 3 Fords. So far, I mean, I think the Fords are looking really strong.
They're looking very strong.
I think that if it hadn't been for the wrecks that they got into.
Yeah, with Kyle Busch taking Keselowski last Sunday, so I think Mr. Keselowski's going to pay Kyle Busch back come the Daytona 500.
A little payback there. I saw Keselowski got out of the Jeep, out of
ambulance.
Before he got an ambulance, I don't know where he got Jeep from.
And he sort of got mad at Kyle Busch.
He was beaten on the side of the ambulance.
And he's going to get Kyle Busch back at Daytona. Him and Logano going to double gang up on him.
Yeah, I believe so too. And also, I was thinking, Logano, I was thinking because he got spun out. Didn't he get spun out first?
He got spun out first time by Kyle Busch.
Right. And then Kyle Busch was just kind of like, you blocked me more than once. So, I didn't know there was this unwritten rule if you block me more than one time, you get spun out. But he also took himself out. So Brad Keselowski, who finished 22 laps down, did not mind words when he spoke of his displeasure.
Very displeasure.
Yes, with the teammate
Logano,
who blocked Kyle Busch and caused a multi-wreck that ended the race for several of the 18 drivers, and one was Keselowski.
Ooh, and I think Keselowski and Kyle Busch ain't going to exchange each other's Christmas cards at the end of the year.
I don't think so either. I can't see that happening. You could just sense in Kyle Busch's voice that he doesn't like
Keselowski.
Yeah. So Brad stated that he got wrecked for no reason. It was dumb racing, dumb moves. He grew livid the more he spoke.
Right.
Keselowski probably had the winning car. He even led the race best 33 laps.
He led 33 laps until Kyle Busch wrecked him.
What did you think about the big old spoilers they had on this car?
They were good, like they were in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
And they threw it back to the fans.
Back then when I was going to the track in the 90s, we would have different teams would have different spoilers and stuff. Robert Yates Racing, they had more horsepower.
Yes.
So they would
Robert Yates.
Yeah, they would tend to change up different. They would change a lot of stuff on a car to compensate for the horsepower difference. When interviewed, Joey Logano smiled and said he didn't think Brad was mad at him and that they get along fine. So, but you know what? They're teammates. If they weren't teammates, then yeah.
That's a whole side of the story.
Yeah, it is. So only 6 of the 18 cars finished the race. There were 4 cautions, over 3 times. So whenever those 6 cars were out there riding around, it was just like, what in the world? It was almost like the episode of when Talladega Nights.
Ricky Bobby. He's like, Mama, I want to go fast.
There you go. So here goes that Jones boy. Eric Jones, he was the 24th different driver to win the class, which is now in its 42nd year.
How about that Jones boy? With my buddy Joe Gibbs going to Hall of Fame.
Yeah, how about that? I mean, it is Joe Gibbs' 9th time for a class victory.
Yes. Now he's in the NFL Hall of Fame and now the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
That's cool. And I always liked the Redskins. Was always my team in football. So in NASCAR, the Gander RV Outdoors Truck Series, we were talking about this earlier. Jeff Hammond will be crew chief for
Clay Greenfield.
There you go. And the 68 truck in the NASCAR Gander Outdoor Truck Series this season. The team plans to run 8 races this season starting
Daytona.
Starting at Daytona. So I think the ideal situation for Jeff Hammond, he actually lives out near me.
Yes, lives near you.
Yep, I've been to his house for a couple times for some rodeo stuff. But I think the ideal situation for him would be to go do 8 truck races.
8 truck races, look for sponsorship.
Yeah, it'd just be kind of a cool little deal. You don't have to go to the track all the time. And people know who you are, so it's kind of cool.
Wish my buddy Jeff Hammond good luck this year.
Yeah, it's good for him. So speaking of, all right, so who are some of the famous people that you met? You can talk about wrestling or
I met Chris Jericho. My buddy Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Bret Hart. And I met Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Jim Furyk. Fred Couples, my buddy Colin Montgomery, and I met Phil Mickelson, which is who my mom grew up watching him.
Yeah.
And I met John Daly,
Very cool.
Davis Love III,
Mm-hmm.
and I also met Triple H and the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. You know, who else?
Cody Rhodes
Okay.
and Ricky Steamboat.
Is oh yeah, Ricky Steamboat, the Dragon.
Yeah, the Dragon.
Was Cody Rhodes any kin to Dustin?
Yes.
Dusty Rhodes?
Yes.
Okay. I played football against Dustin Rhodes.
Really?
He was on the East Met team, and I played for Harding back in the day, so we were close to the same age, and he ended up becoming Gold Dust in the later
Yes.
years, you know?
And me and my dad saw Roddy Piper wrestle.
Oh yeah. He was, I know where he lived, down there in Tuckasegee area
Yes.
on the west side of Charlotte, so I grew up down in the west side of Charlotte. So when I was growing up, it was always wrestling and racing. That was the thing.
Yeah, and me and my dad met Ken Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, yes.
Now he's rumored to be in the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, really? All right, cool. Are you gonna? So, where did you meet some of the golfers?
At the Wyndham
Oh,
and
okay.
Rock Barn. And then I met Hale Irwin and I met Lee Trevino
Oh, very cool.
and I met Tom Kite.
Did you get pictures with them, or?
Yeah,
Okay, very good.
and I sure did.
Very nice. Did your sister go down there with you at all?
Me and my dad did. It was a
Sure
fun
did.
time.
Oh yeah, I'll bet so. That's very cool.
And I met Bernhard Langer.
I'm not sure who that is.
He's a golfer in Germany.
Oh, okay.
He has a
Good day, mate.
neat golf swing. And I met Vijay Singh.
Yeah, PJ Singh. Yes, I've seen him. Yes, because I've actually played some of the. Do you ever play video games?
Yes.
I played the golf. I love playing golf
Yeah.
on that, and I haven't done it in actually probably 2 years, but
Yeah.
I'd like to maybe get back into that. I don't know. I just don't have much time for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
hard to find the time to do
Mhm.
the things that I do. But
And I met Potter Harrington,
oh, okay, very cool.
Zach Johnson, Roy Sabatini, and Mark Kakavecchia.
So back when I was the jack man for the WCW. No, was it WC?
Yeah, you said
WCW.
WCW, Steve Grissom.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually this one was driven by Blaze Alexander.
I've heard of
track
him.
on WCW. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to meet a lot of the wrestlers,
Yeah.
like Disco Inferno,
I've heard of him.
The Raven, Booker
Booker T.
T.
And
Yes.
I met Dean Malenko.
Now this is going to trip you out right
Yeah.
here. I played high school football and was friends with. I always liked the guy, and he was always super cut. I mean, like muscular.
Yeah.
Ronnie Killings,
R-Truth.
R-Truth.
I saw him wrestle this year in Charlotte.
Did you really? That's cool.
Yes.
I wish that I could catch up with him
Mm-hmm.
and say, hey, he'll remember me. I know because we're actually on social media together. But that would be cool to run into him. He was always a great guy. But we played football. I was I was a receiver on the football team. But yeah, I thought that was neat. And I don't know if you remember Ray Durham. I played baseball.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he played baseball for the White Sox and the Giants.
Yes.
Yeah, so those are my famous people that I grew up with, I guess you could say.
And of course, my mom always liked Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
And Batista and The Rock.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I always liked Ricky the Steamboat.
Yes.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat. I didn't like Ric Flair.
Oh no, I know.
Now, but I didn't like him when I was a kid. It's kind
We
of
was with the Four Horsemen.
yeah. I didn't like the Four Horsemen. I didn't care for the Rock and Roll Express that much, you know. But I used to when I would go to a swimming pool there on the west side of Charlotte. We had Ivan and Nikita Koloff.
Yes.
They were always there. Well, not always there, but they would be bobbling in the water, you know, floating.
And I like the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, yeah, very cool stuff, man. All right, so the duels are on the 13th, like I said.
The 13th, this Thursday. So
That'll be exciting.
if you fans tune in to Fox Sports 1, watch the duels.
Yeah,
So if you win big or you go home disappointed,
Big or you
words
go
from
home.
Darryl Waltrip.
that's right.
So tune in to Fox Sports 1 to watch the duels at Daytona. It'll be exciting for you fans.
my buddy Beer Man will be down there.
Oh, the Busch guy will be down there.
Oh, yeah. That's all right, I'm sure. So the Daytona, all right, let's go with the Xfinity race. No, the Truck Series race will be on the 14th.
The Truck Series will be on the 14th, and the Xfinity Series will be on the 15th. And The Great American Race, Daytona 500, will be on February 16th.
That's right.
On a Sunday.
And that'll be on what channel again?
Fox.
Fox, that's right. But I think the truck's going to be on FS1 also.
Trucks be on FS1 and the Xfinity Series will be on FS1.
FS1. And the Truck Series race is going to be at 7:30.
7:30.
Friday night.
So all you fans, watch the Truck Series on FS1. It's going to be exciting.
It is, isn't it? All right. So let's see, what else we can talk about today, Brett? What else you got going on? You go to wrestling matches quite a bit? All right. Down in Charlotte?
Down in Charlotte.
Okay. I actually went, I think it's about 5 years ago. I took my son. It might have been 5 years ago, but yeah. We went to one of the big wrestling matches down there in I guess it was the same place that they played the basketball games,
yes.
right? Bobcats Arena.
Mm-hmm. Bobcats Arena.
Okay. And then have you been to a golf tournament?
We went to the Wells Fargo Pro-Am.
Okay. All right. And where was that golf tournament you went?
Quail Hollow, Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right. Very cool. I've been down there. I actually used to live down in South Charlotte.
Did you?
For a little while. I did, yes. Okay, so I have one of the biggest questions, and I think everybody watching is going to be asking the same thing, but I'm going to ask Brett. Who do you think will win the Daytona 500?
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
All right.
Since he's with the new team, 47 Chevrolet and a Hendrick engine.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, can Jimmy Johnson in a long losing streak in 2020?
Yes, can Jimmy Johnson win in 2020 will be the next thing. And as far as winning the Daytona 500, I'm probably going to go with Brad Keselowski because I just have a feeling that he's extremely hungry.
He's hungry.
Yes.
Because he wants to beat Kyle Busch down.
Yes. And I think he can do it.
Can he win the Daytona 500?
Yeah. That remains to be seen.
That remains to be seen.
Because, they have a whole new package too.
The rule package for 2020.
Yeah. It's different for sure. And alright, so after qualifying in the Gatorade or the shootout, what are they called now? Gatorade one?
The duels.
The duels, okay.
Cam duels.
Who is gonna go home? Who's gonna make it?
This is a good one. Who's gonna go home?
It's probably gonna be one of the rookies or the part-timers.
Part-timers.
Typically.
I say Justin Haley goes home disappointed.
Okay.
And Cole Custer will race his way into 500.
Yeah.
And Christopher Bell.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good call. I think that's a smart call.
And Daniel Suarez will race his way into 500.
Yeah.
With the new team, Gaunt Brothers Racing.
All right. Good stuff there, Brett. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And if y'all would like and subscribe to this channel, DHammiam, share it with your friends. Let's get some more people on here tuning in. And also check out my podcast, Hamm the Engine Man. You can find me on social media, DHammiam, on Twitter and Instagram. And Brett, you got any parting words? Anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, today's my mom's 58th birthday.
Oh my goodness.
And Greg Norman's 65th birthday.
How about that? All right. Your mom sure looks a lot younger than that.
Yes, she does.
She does good. She's a very sweet lady. Very nice. Well, happy birthdays, Carolyn.
And Greg Norman, the Great White Shark.
And Greg Norman, the Great White Shark. Yes, very cool. He's got, man, how about his clothing line?
Yeah, he's got some strong clothing line coming out.
His brand, man. I'll tell you what.
And he's got some wine and restaurant in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rich man.
Yeah, he is.
He's got more than Tiger Woods.
Yes. Yeah, he's been smart, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we do know Hugh Jackman's playing a movie on Greg Norman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. That'll be neat. Maybe one of these days we'll have a movie made about us.
Yes, we think.
That'd be all right.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And hit that like, subscribe, and give us some comments below. If you got any questions, put them down below. And me or Brett will go on here and answer any of your questions that you have. Or any suggestions, comments, all that kind of stuff. But we're looking forward to the 2020 season getting started with the Daytona 500 coming up this coming Sunday.
Tune in on Fox.
That's right. And I'll see you back here next Monday.
Next Monday.
So y'all have a great week, rest of the week, and a great weekend.
And happy Valentine's Day to all the loved ones.
Oh, that's true. Very true. Yes. Yeah. Happy Valentine's.